I'll tell you what, folks, I'm stuck for time here, so I'm going to do a very, very quick video, on a subject that I've heard a lot about this last week and a half. And when I go on YouTube, there's loads and loads about it. Some are conspiracy theories, some are more than that. It's a subject that I never thought I would cover, because although we all know about it, I've never really had a great view on it until about a day ago. It's concerning the Madeleine Cann abduction and possible murder. And the reason I'm covering it is, if you've watched my videos from Tenerife this last week and a half, you'll see that I met a gent about 4 or 5 days ago now, a guy called Rick from a channel I follow called Just Rick, and he'd done a video on the subject about 2 weeks ago before I came out here. And I see every video he does. I mean, if you want to have a look at his channel, go and have a look at it. It might not be for many of you, it might be for some of you. It's a channel I just tend to follow. I always have done since its inception. I tend to watch most every video. He did a video on the parents of Madeleine Cann, and I wasn't really paying attention to it, and I wasn't taking it in. It was a 20-minute video, and I watched it and I thought, I wasn't that keen on that, and I never had any thoughts either way. Now, when I met Rick about 4 or 5 days ago, this should give you an idea into how honest I am and how upfront I am. He mentioned that video because I know he's got lots of watches on there. He's got about 25,000 people seeing it, which by his standards is a good video. It's a successful video. His channel's only about the same size as mine, a little bit bigger, but, you know, not much in it. And I said, well, to be honest with you, I watched it, Rick. I said, and I wasn't overly impressed. I said, I didn't take it in. I said, but I've got to be honest with you. I've got to be honest when I say this. I was doing other things at the time because I'm coming away. I've had some issues and some problems I need sorting out. And I said, I think I was doing some work at the time and pricing some jobs. I think I was doing some costing. So I didn't really take it in. I said, but I know it went down well. And I do know that you did your video on the back of a video done by, I think it's a guy called James English. I think he's well known for podcasts and so on and so forth. He's much bigger than most of us. I've heard of his name. I often see him in my YouTube feed, but he's not anybody that I follow really. And I know he did an interview, James English did, with a guy from, I think it's from, is it from Austria? I think it's Austria or Norway. There's an Austrian and a Norway connection there somewhere. And this guy's an investigative journalist, and he's absolutely adamant that McCanns have killed their own baby, be it accidentally or on purpose. He's convinced that's what they've done. And the basis of Rick's thing, that Rick did, he watched this podcast with this James English, and he believes the same too. At the end of his video, he's not sort of saying, yes, they did it, but he's saying that's the way he's thinking is now after all that he's seen. And if you're expecting me, folks, to say at the end of this, they've done it, you're watching the wrong guy. That said, I'm not going to say they've not. You know, and the reason for that is, I want to believe as parents they're not going to kill their own kiddie. And if the kiddie's died accidentally, I want to believe they've not covered it up. But the reason I'm doing this very, very, very short video is, I've seen Rick's video again today. I wanted to revisit it, and it was better than I thought. I've not seen the podcast done by the guy in question, but I have seen a little bit of the podcast, because when Rick's video ended, I was doing something else about the apartment, and this guy's video came on, and I seen 15-20 minutes of it. And there was a couple of things there that I thought to myself, I can't believe that. And there's a couple of things I want to bring up. Now, for all, I'm not saying I do believe they have or haven't done it. What I will say is this, I believe they went out for it. Now, I never picked up on these things when it happened, folks. You know, we all heard about the case, and we all heard bits and pieces, and we all believed that Madeleine had been abducted and whatever else, and we've been led more recently to believe that a paedophile in that area has taken her, but obviously none of us know. I know they've had accusations against them, but I think most people thought that wasn't the case. They'd not done anything wrong. I would have hoped it, like I hope it myself. But when I see things on YouTube today, as I'm looking around after seeing Rick's video, virtually everything I see is, they've done it, they've done it, they've done it. There's body language experts on there and everything. In fact, I've seen a full video whilst I was doing other things, and this body language guy is a bit weird, because he's calling Jerry McCann Gary all the way through, which is very strange. It's a 50-minute video. He calls Jerry McCann Gary all the way through the thing. He thinks Gary has had something to do with it. He's not so sure. His wife has, which would be a bit strange if you ask me. Anyway, that's by the by. But a couple of things I heard which amazed me is They're saying that they left Madeleine and a brother and sister, who I think were younger than her, in the room whilst they went and had a meal with friends. Yet they left the patio door open, and the reason they left the patio door open is so they could get in and out easily to check she was okay. And I thought to myself, who in their right mind would leave a door open? Like somebody has said on the TV today, I wouldn't leave my door open if my phone was in an apartment or a laptop. I mean, I'm in this apartment today, folks, and we've got like 3 locks on the door. If I'm going down by the pool for half an hour or an hour, I might lock one of them. If we're going out for the day or for the night, every lock gets locked. And the French door here on the way out to the balcony is a double lock, and it gets locked. In this day and age, you don't want anybody to rob anything. If you've got kiddies, you surely don't leave a patio open. So that was number 1. But number 2 was, and I don't ever remember hearing this, I don't remember this at all, they're saying about 2 to 3 days after the abduction, murder, whatever it may have been, at least Jerry McCann, and I don't know if both of them, but Jerry McCann was playing tennis with friends, and I'm thinking, tennis? And they're saying you wouldn't play tennis a day or two after your kiddie's been abducted, and I'm thinking the same, I'm thinking, tennis? I couldn't play anything a day or two after it had happened. I'm going to do 1 or 3 things. I'm going to be out every minute of every day looking for my daughter. That's more than likely. The other 2 things are, what I may be doing is I may be thinking, well, I'm getting out of it. I want to go home with the 2 children I've still got and my wife, get away from it all and make sure they're safe, because we're in, one kiddie's been abducted. I can't risk it of anybody else, because obviously there's somebody about here taking children. Or what I'm most likely to be doing is probably in the daytime looking for my daughter, making sure my wife stays with my kiddies and don't let them out of sight, and at night time I don't let them out of my sight. I want my kiddies with me at all time, because that's all I've got left. I want to make sure those 2 kiddies are safe. The last thing I think of doing is playing tennis. Any game you play, you've got to concentrate on, you've got to be competitive on. Some can say, well, it'll take your mind off things, but who could go and play a game a day or 2 after your kiddies have been abducted? It's inconceivable. So there were a couple of things. These other things, I mean, I do believe that they'd rented a car later and a sample of blood was taken out of it. I have heard that dogs came into the apartment or villa they'd hired, and is it cadaver dogs that smell dead bodies and they think there was something there? I've heard all of that. I've heard other bits and pieces, but the main 2 bits were the patio for me and tennis. And I'm just thinking, what right-minded parents, if they've lost the child, would do either of those things? It beggars belief. And I don't know, it's just, as I say, folks, I'm not going to say they've done it, because I don't know. And I want them not to have done it, because at the end of the day, the parents of a young kiddie, I'm a parent myself, and you want to hope for the best in everybody. But I have seen some of the interview that's been done since, and some of the body language and some of the things that they're saying just doesn't strike a chord. I mean, I've seen this body language guy today on the show, the guy that kept calling him Gary, and when he's asked, did you murder Madeleine? Did you murder your daughter to Jerry? It was weird, the no that he gave, rather than just no or don't be stupid, it's my daughter. He went off on a tangent, this tangent, that tangent, and got to, no, I didn't do it. And I thought, that didn't sound good. Now, I do believe I have heard somewhere, and I've not read up on the case, folks, I've not honestly, but I've read somewhere that somebody mentioned early on in it all something to do with lie detector tests, and they said, yeah, we'll be fine with that. And in the end, they've never took them. And I thought to myself, you want an MP somewhere, or you want somebody high up in the police, you want somebody to grab the cudgel and say, look, it's years since it's happened, but it's still an open case. We don't know what's happened, and we want you, we're telling you we want to give you both a lie detector test, and they need to have a lie detector test. And what they also need to do is get hold of the 5 or 6 other adults that were with them for this meal that night, that were in the party with them, and do the same on themselves, whether they want it or not. For my money, you've got to force them, and if there's no precedent for it, or law at this stage can't make them do it, then the law's got to be changed. You want them all on the lie detector test, because there's lots and lots of other rumours about the McCanns, possibly just conspiracy theories and probably all wrong, but some of them are frightening, and I'm not going to bring them to this video. That's not what this channel's about. But it's worrying, folks, it's really worrying. But for me, bang, lie detector them all, absolutely 100%. I mean, I also heard something, is there some link to Gordon Brown or something, or a brother of Gordon Brown? I haven't even looked into that, but that name's come up today, and many are saying the conspiracy theories are saying there's cover-ups and so on and so forth, and they may be, But get them all in, get them lie detected. Let's see how they fare with that. Because they're getting nowhere nearer to finding this young girl, are they? Nowhere nearer at all. And for my money, folks, if it's my kiddie that's gone missing, be abducted, killed, whatever it may be, and I've done absolutely nothing, and I mean nothing, I don't mind a lie detector test. You can give me 4, 5, 6 of them, no problem whatsoever. If I've got nothing to hide, lie detector me for us so the cows come home. That should definitely be done. I cannot believe it hasn't been done. I really can't. Anyway, that's only my thoughts. What do I know? Not a lot. I'm not jumping on the bandwagon, folks, to get views or to go viral or to for this, that or the other, but I've seen Just Rick's video again today for the second time. I appreciated it more. As I say, I've seen a little bit of this thing with James English, and then I've seen this guy with the body language guy, and I'm thinking, they all say enough between them to make you think about it, to at least think about it. And so many people are casting these aspersions that, you know, completely rule out that the parents have had anything to do with it first, and then we can move on to other things. But for my money, lie detector's the first thing, but leaving a patio open and then playing tennis, don't get either of those two things, folks. In fact, I get the playing tennis even less than leaving the patio open. I do, honestly. If my kid has been abducted, I don't want to play any kind of game with anything or anybody. Probably not for the next 5 or 10 years, never mind a day or two later. Anyway, let me know your thoughts down below. Let me know your thoughts. Tell me what you're thinking, whoever you might be.